Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see. I just got to grab the slides, don't I? Okay. Let me get some slides up here. All right. Slides are coming. Fancy, fancy. Thank you so much for being here first. Okay. Lydia Washington is here. YND is here. And a bunch of other folks. How about that? Heather Stroud, thank you for being here. Carol Lunn, excellent. Thank you so much for being here. House secrets. House secrets. Well, I tell you, Will and Kate, I don't know what's going on right now, but I am here for it. Maybe the contract ran out. Yeah, maybe the invisible contract has just run out. Maybe there's no more. There's no more. Well, let's get into it, shall we? V Morgan, hello to you too. Raven is here. Carolyn Daniels. Okay. Paula Young, thank you again for being here. All right. Patricia Ann Franklin, hello. Zaquay Farms is here. Thank you, thank you. All right. I'm going to cover a little bit of As Ever and With Love, Meghan, before we drag Willie. You know, there was a movie called Free Willy, and I propose they make a movie called Drag Willie, starring Royal Sussex, starring me as the dragger in chief. Yeah, I am going to do a little dragging today. Okay, I'm just trying to. No, I don't want that. Let me see. I am stalling. Hold on a second. Nope. Uh-oh. Nope. Mm-mm. Sorry. All right. Oh, this is perfect. All right. Okay. I'm going to play a little soundbite for you. Mother and daughter, they are going to review Meghan's wine. Yes, they're going to review Meghan's wine. So, let me play that little soundbite for you. Now, there was one thing they said, I couldn't make out what they were saying, but I don't suppose it matters. Oh my, I like that. Okay, I'm going to save that one. Okay, you ready for it? Here it goes.
We recently purchased Meghan Markle's new one. You can turn on the video, Mother. The As Ever Rosette from Meghan Markle, and we're going to test it. You've tried it before. You said you like it. I have. I ordered the 3 bottles like Katie did, and one is already gone. Okay, so cheers. All right, so cheers. I mean, delish. It is actually very good. It tastes like Whispering Angel.
We don't say that word in the same line as M's ever.
Why could you like I said or more?
Yes,
Meghan Markle.
it's our Duchess.
All hail the Queen. We recently purchased.
Okay, it was kind of hard to hear a little bit of that. I'm gonna play it for you one more time. Let's do it.
Meghan Markle's new one. You can come in the video, Mother. The As Ever Rose from Meghan Markle, and we're gonna test it. You've tried it before. You said you like it.
I have.
We recently purchased Meghan Markle's new one. You can come in the video, Mother. The As Ever Rose from Meghan Markle, and we're gonna test it. You've tried it before. You said you like it.
I have. I ordered the 3 bottles like Katie did,
Okay.
and one is already gone.
Okay.
So cheers.
All right.
So cheers. I mean, delish.
It is actually very good. It tastes like Whispering Angel.
We don't say that word in the same line as M's ever.
Why could you like I said or more?
Yes,
Meghan Markle.
it's our Duchess.
All hail the Queen.
Okay, I love that. You could barely hear it at the end, but the daughter reaches to turn off the recording. She goes, "All hail the Queen." Her mother said, "We don't say that in the same sentence as M." She mentioned some other wine, something angel, something. And she's like, "No, we don't say that in the same sentence as M." Anyway, I think they're adorable. I don't know who to credit it to because someone actually shared it on Twitter, but usually if it's from, wherever you can see their channel, their platform or whatever, and I could not find that. So I don't know where it originated from, but they are adorable. And if I can figure it out, I will share it with you at another time. But all hail the Queen. Yeah, they referred, the daughter referred to Meghan as the Queen. Mom said she's purchased 3 bottles and they're already gone. Oh, man. Yeah, I love them. But very, very cute mother and daughter. Okay. Just looking at a couple of your comments here. Okay. Yes, our Duchess. Absolutely, our Duchess. Okay, let me see. I'm just checking out, see if I missed anything. Patricia and Franklin, I'm very well, thank you. I am very well, thank you. I spent some time with an old friend last week, and it was amazing. So it's amazing how your closest friends, you just pick up the conversation right where you left off, as though you were never apart. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next thing. Oh, well, these are back to back, but yeah, I got another soundbite for you. Our friend here, Luxury Business Guru, she made some very interesting points about Meghan. Every time Meghan does something different, well, you know what? I'll let her do the speaking. Okay.
Have you noticed this? Anti-Meghan royalist trolls are now every profession under the sun. Meghan posted a pasta making video. I think she used lemon preserves this time, and suddenly they become nutritionists. They're analyzing her protein intake like her health depended on their approval. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So over time, I have watched them become trademark specialists, marketing gurus, streaming production insiders, staff instructors, obstetricians, Disney park employees, award-winning sommeliers, food safety inspectors, body language experts, wealth advisors, interior decorators, fire chiefs, business consultants, luxury consultants, fashion experts, literally, I said literally, anytime Meghan does anything, they suddenly have a PhD in it. What's happening here isn't criticism, it's actually obsession. Every ordinary action taken by Meghan becomes a spectacle, a performance under an imaginary magnifying glass. Every skill that she demonstrates triggers their imaginary qualifications. It's like they believe her life is public property and they've been drafted into the world's most absurd fact-checking task force. And the thing is, it's literally about them and it's not about her. Their compulsive need to become an expert in everything that she does reveals a kind of envy and fixation that is both exhausting and, quite frankly, a little sad. Anyway, my name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of The Luxpreneur. Please click the link in my bio for your copy. And for more insights like these, please like, share, comment, and follow me.
Okay, so the luxury business guru, you know, I was sitting here chuckling as she was saying that because it is so true. They become expert on everything that Meghan does. They have the qualifications, the credentials. They have whatever it takes to determine what Meghan's doing wrong this time. No matter what, they always seem to know exactly where Meghan has gone wrong. Again, over and over again, we hear the same stuff. If Meghan does anything different, as she says, it becomes a spectacle. Everyone gathers around and they give you their critiques. And then, of course, I love when they say, I'm not trying to say this or I'm not trying to say that, so please don't cancel me. Or I like it even better when they say, you know what, go ahead and cancel me, but I just have to say, I'm like, do you really have to? Are you really, really committed to this? You just have to do what? Yeah, it's a constant, unfortunately, but what was that they used to say when I was a kid? That's okay if they're talking about you, they're thinking about you. I don't know if that's really a good thing, but anyway, I hope all of this translates into billionaire status for our faves. I really do. I hope all of this translates into billionaire status because nothing shuts it down like having a nice bag. You know what I mean? So billionaire status cannot come soon enough for my concern. So whatever it takes to promote, I will be there to do it. Whatever Meghan's selling, I'm buying. And same goes for Harry. Take a look here. You can see that pasta dish that she was making. This is the last big offense, is the fact that she used lemon preserve. Meghan likes lemons. I love lemons too. And it's almost a given that I'm either going to have lemons or limes in this house at all times, or both. Or both. And of course, the resident avocado. Got to keep an avocado at all times. Even when the avocado is starting to turn, I just scrape the bad looking part away, and it's on if I take time to scrape it away. But there's just some staples that I like to keep in the house. Let's see. Bonnie Mindy says Meghan has to start preaching the gospel to these so-called experts and see how they analyze it. Somebody's got to do something. Beverly McCaskill says, "Hey, family. Was just going to listen, but had to comment on this. These idiots are so jealous that they didn't think of it first. They are very sad and lonely people." Yeah, and easily triggered, by the way. Whatever Meghan does, it seems to trigger something in them. It triggers a response. Winsome Jones, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for joining us here on Royal Sussex. Okay. All right. Thank you again. Oh my goodness. Is that Sharon Skinner? I'm doing better, but I still have a cough and still taking medicine, so I don't bring back up my food. Okay. Well, my goodness, whatever's going on, I pray everything is improving by the minute. Yeah, I use the what do you call it? I use the white vinegar. I buy the gallons of white vinegar. I think I discovered white vinegar, I don't know, a few years ago, and I tend to use that a lot. Okay. All right. I'm going to continue then. You know what, you all? The Sussex squad is turning it up. They are turning it up. I look at some of these settings that people have created. And of course, the meals. Oh, the good life, the soft life. Some of these meals, I mean, that salad looks divine. That looks so good. Oh my God, that looks good. And it looks like I see raspberry. Is that olive? Black olives? I think I see strawberry and whatever cheese that is. And I'm thinking I'm seeing some, is that arugula? I think I'm seeing some arugula. That looks so good. I'm guessing that's either feta cheese or, yeah, I'm guessing that's feta cheese. My goodness, that looks so good. Well, I hope Meghan is going to sell some lemon preserve or preserved lemons. I didn't know that that was a thing, but I do want to try it now since I love lemons so much. I've been waiting all week to crack open this As Ever Rosé. Look at that. I don't even know what that is, but I see they garnished it with oh, that must be hummus. Looks like they garnished it with some of those flour sprinkles. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to add that to my hummus. Yeah, that looks good. Looks like they took some hummus and drizzled some olive oil on it. If you guys love hummus, and especially if you buy it, um, ready made, if you don't make it yourself, I've never made it myself either. But do drizzle a little olive oil on it, and that will just really elevate the taste. Some olive oil, and I don't know, put a few olives on the side. I like to kind of garnish the plate with some olives, and then of course bite into them. And you know what? Sometimes I cut the olives and just, if I'm making some pasta, I'll just cut them up, dice them, and throw them in the pasta. Just to give it a little more flavor. I'm making myself hungry. Wow, that looks so good. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, you make hummus? I think I should try that then. I never tried it before, but I bet that's pretty good. My. Wow, that looks so delicious. I mean, I could just reach through the screen right now. Okay, that is making me very hungry. Wow. Anyway, you guys, um, the squatties are living it up with the As Ever Rosé, and I am here for it. I haven't been sharing a lot of these images lately, but I think I'm going to go back to doing exactly that because, and also one more thing I want to remind you all, if you are going to do this anytime soon, make sure you tag As Ever. Oh no, oh, is it As Ever? Yeah. Yeah, the As Ever Instagram, and perhaps our Duchess will share it on the Instagram, which is where these came from. Megan shared those, and now we get to just feast our eyes upon it. Lemon tree, very pretty, and our lemons smell so sweet. And I only use lemon Ajax. I've been using that for years. I saw that commercial years ago. Lemon tree, very pretty, and our lemons smell so sweet. They were singing it on the commercial, and ever since then, I used the lemon Ajax. Okay, I got to stop looking at these pictures. I'm so hungry. All right, and Megan posted that on the left side. Season of With Love, Megan. I'm sorry, new season of With Love, Megan on Netflix. Dare I say, it's all that and a bag of chips. Yes, it's all that and a bag of chips. Looks like Megan made some potato chips. With Love, Megan, new season coming soon. Coming soon. Paulette Club, bye to you too. Yeah, I'm sorry you can't stay with us, but thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Busy cooking lunch for family, but have time to listen. Our fave guy, Baron. Oh, thank you so much for that, Zabeda. I really appreciate that. Let me see. V. Morgan says, Baron, this is Vaughn. Oh, yeah, that's right. I, you guys, I'm so sorry about these number things. I haven't figured out how to get rid of them, but thank you guys for being patient. So wait, Megan used lemons in 2025. Someone contact Julia Childs from the grave. Again, there's nothing to see here. Bye, Felicia. Yes, bye, Felicia. Thank you so much, B. Morgan. Oh, and I'm sorry, Vaughn. And thank you for the super chat. Oh, I hear some fireworks tonight. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So, let the dragging begin. The dark past of William and Kate's forever home. Slavery links, an equerry who self-harmed himself. Gosh, I hate to even say that. Out and a royal breakup. A royal breakup. There was so much going on in that very creepy house. By the way, you guys, the house looks very strange. You must agree. It looks very, very strange. It's something about that center part of it that was not making sense to me. And you know what? Um, I am going to show you what it's supposed to look like. I'm going to do that. You know what? I'm going to just do it right now. Let me find it and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. Because every time I look at it, I'm like, what is wrong with this house? Why does that look so strange to me? And if you love architecture as much as I do, then it's probably kind of getting on your nerves too, because the language of the architecture is kind of strange. And I just want to make some sense out of it. So give me a second here. I'll grab it. Um, oh, all right. You know, it could have been a very beautiful house had things happened the way it should have. But as you know, things don't always work out. Okay. It is coming up very soon. I'm grabbing it right now. That doesn't sound strange. Huh. All right. All right. Here comes the photo. Huh. Okay. All right. This is it. That is what it's supposed to look like. Something happened along the way, and now it doesn't. Isn't that much better? Those bays on the second floor. I think there should be like a Juliet balcony or something. There should be a portico. There should be a portico and a portico rather, and there's not. Even the roof itself is not the way it's supposed to be. The roof on one side is flat, where it's supposed to, have a bit of a pitch to it, but that is the way the house is supposed to look. So sorry, I have to take the time and show this to you, but I had to tell somebody because that house looks weird to me. And there's just no excuse for bad architecture. uh, I'm a little obsessive, I know, but I do not like bad architecture. It's it's going to lead to the decline of Western civilization if we're not careful. So thank you for uh, to share that with you. But let me see. Oh, Hazel Jones rather says, looks like the roof a uh, had a window walk. Oh yeah, that's what they call it at the top there. I see what you mean. It's like a balustrade or something that goes around the top. And yeah, and on those hot days, you can go out there and just like enjoy the breeze. Yeah, I see what you mean. I believe the huge house is for Kate's parents to share with her due course. Now their advocates are saying this is not a forever home. They still may move to Windsor. Um, well, you know what? Well, I mean, Windsor is there for them to use, right? But court life in Windsor may not appeal to William, although I do believe that he is mostly at Windsor. He maintains an apartment there. He can have his private visits at Windsor. His callers can call upon him at Windsor. But okay, so let's get on with this then. So I have to warn you, um, some of this information is a bit triggering. You may find it distasteful, but well, let's get into it. When it was announced last week that William and Kate were to move with their three children from Adelaide Cottage, their rather pokey digs in Windsor Great Park, to the imposing 8-bedroom Forest Lodge, much was made of the idea that it will remain the family residence when William ascends the throne. Indeed, they are already so attached to the place that it has never been said it will be their forever home. Sounds like somebody's trying to backtrack. I believe that forever home phrase came from Kensington Palace, and they wouldn't have said it if William did not want to put that out there. So, sounds to me like something's about to change. I don't know. Indeed, there are already, I'm sorry, but how much due diligence did the couple do when it came to the history of their 18th century pile before agreeing to move in? Not much, it would appear. For I can reveal that Forest Lodge is a house full of dark secrets. To discover what these are, we must go back to the 1700s when the lodge was built for Sir Geoffrey Wyatville, the architect who rebuilt parts of the ancient Windsor Castle during the reign of George IV. The lodge's gardens have an equally distinguished pedigree, as they were laid out by Humphrey Repton, who was considered the successor of Capability Brown, the father of the famed English landscape garden style. Sir Geoffrey was so taken by his creation, which was originally adorned with an Indian style cupola, that he considered making it his own home. Instead, the Georgian mansion was bought by a rather less distinguished character, a London based Scot called Spencer Mackay. I want you to see this. I do want you to see this. Okay, that's in the wrong place. Is it or is it not? Yes, I think that's in the wrong place. And that's in the wrong oh my goodness, how did I do that? Um okay, that's wrong. Now, the dark past of William and Kate's forever home, slavery, links, and equerry who blew his thinking parts out, and a royal breakup. That's the cupola that they're speaking of. That house, as bad as it looks now, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. It appears as though whoever etched this design or sketched this design wanted to make it look like the Tajma mess. The Tajma mess. Not the Taj Mahal, but a Tajma mess. I don't know what's going on there. That is a disaster. That would have been a crime against architecture. I'm so glad that they didn't do that. That looks awful. It looks like there's a circus tent on top, and then those weird columns. Yeah, and what is those things on the ground level? You see that on the ground level floor. See what's over the windows, over the bays, and over the door? That is awful. But that's what they were referring to, that it would have an Indian style cupola. Anyway, Sir Geoffrey by was so taken by his creation, was a which originally was adorned with. Oh, they did make that. It originally was adorned with an Indian style cupola. Is that why the roof looks so funny now? That he considered making it his own home instead of the Georgian-style mansion was bought by a rather less distinguished character, a London-based Scot called Spencer Mackay. Unlike Wyatville, who piled his trade in his homeland, Mackay made his money from coffee and rum plantations in Guyana, South America, in the late 18th and the early 19th century. But then that happened. Okay. But then that happened. This is what Will and Kate is looking forward to moving into. McKay's priority was to extract as much profit as possible from his land half a world away. To this end, he bought hundreds of slaves. Yeah, in order to get as much profit as possible, he bought hundreds of slaves. They experienced horrendous privations during their long journey by sea from West Africa, and they arrived on Guyana. Even worse horrors awaited them. Now, of course, when they say they suffered at sea, that means that a huge portion of them died on the way. They died on the way. They knew from the experience that they had in the slave trade that a lot of slaves would die on the way. So, however many arrived in Guyana, imagine how many of them did not survive the voyage. Brutal whippings were common. A plantation manager sought to force the maximum amount of labor out of exhausted slaves. In 1823, there was a slave rebellion in the Guyanese region of Damara, triggered by a mistaken belief that the British Parliament had abolished slavery and their freedom was being blocked by by colonial rulers. Between 9,000 and 12,000 slaves joined the uprising, dozens of them from Mackay's plantation, but it proves to be short-lived. Within just 2 days, the rebellion had been brutally crushed. Mackay's estate manager later gave a chillingly frank account of events in the latter in a letter that is to his boss. From 50 to 100 slaves have absented themselves for some time to go back land near Mojica, but particularly from the estate of Beehive and Greenfield, alleging that the manager had exacted too much labor. The Greenfields slaves, having returned on condition that the manager would be discharged, and other slaves appointed, the remaining slaves were occupied during the nights in carrying into the woods plantains and a good many cattle. One group, which had fled the plantation, turned on the men hunting them down, wrote an estate manager. Well, good for them. Young Van Barrow and another young man on the estate had repeatedly attempted to bring home the runaways and partly succeeded. But finally, these young men were decoyed by a party of estate slaves which had not absented themselves, and in this affair, they were murdered in the most savage manner. Their bodies were mutilated and their heads and limbs carried in triumph around the camp. Every attempt is now being made to send a formidable party of whites and Indians in an endeavor to destroy them. In the process of putting down the rebellion, up to 500 slaves were killed. And after the insurrection, had been defeated, a further 27 slaves were executed on the orders of the British governor, John Murray, with their bodies left to rot in the sun for months as a deterrent to any other slaves considering a fight for freedom. Despite the butchery, when slavery was abolished in 1834, Mackay was compensated for the loss of his slaves workforce to the tune of 10 million pounds at today's prices. Nobody knows how many died on his watch rather, but by the time he received the money, he'd moved from Holly Grove House, the original name of Forest Lodge, to a smart London residence on Harley Street. So that was the original name of the house. It was called Holly Grove House. By the way, that's a depiction of the rebellion right there. During the stop at Trenchtown, Trenchtown, the district of Jamaica's capital of Kingston, best known for being a childhood home of the king of reggae, Bob Marley, the royal couple were photographed shaking hands with local. Did I skip something? Oh, did I? Yes, I did. This piece of history, if William doesn't already know, may come as an unwelcome reminder of the troubles in the West Indies tour, which he and Kate undertook in March of 2022. During the stop at Trenchtown, a district of Jamaica's capital of Kingston, best known for being the childhood home of reggae king Bob Marley, the royal couple were photographed shaking hands with local children as they pushed their hands through a chain link fence. The optics were not good. To some eyes, it looked as if they were greeting people in a prison camp. Now, for your consideration, I made sure that I included those images just in case there's anyone who has not seen it before. Um, this is what a lack of diversity can do. It causes people to do some pretty careless things. Because of the lack of diversity at Kensington Palace, there was no one to say, hey, stupid, take care that you don't do this and you don't do that. But they didn't have that kind of person with them. So they rode around in that Range Rover in their colonizer gear. And also, they had that bad situation where they were reaching through a chain link fence. This image is going to haunt them, should I say, for a long time. But that's not the only image they should be concerned about, because there's also these. Yeah. William and Kate, they seem to step into it way more times than I thought possible. They don't think, and they have a bunch of people around them that do not have their best interests at heart. They are there to use Kensington Palace as a stepping stone to their bigger and more important career. But for now, it makes William and Kate seem as though they are going backwards instead of forward. I mean, look at that. Look at that. And to date, I promise you, I've looked. I cannot find one image of Prince Charles at the time. I could not find a single image of him being carried about like this. I've seen Queen Elizabeth. I've seen Prince Philip, but not one image of Charles. Charles gets a lot of things wrong, but he was not stupid enough to do this. And I'm sure there were many opportunities where this could have happened over the years, and he had enough sense to stay away from it. But William and Kate, they took to it like a fish to water. And now they're moving into a house that has a slavery history to it, that was owned by a slaveholder. It was criticized as a PR misstep and a white savior parody amid an ongoing debate over slavery reparations and increasingly vocal calls for Jamaica to throw off the monarchist yoke. Indeed, the island's prime minister told the royal couple in an awkward meeting that the country would become a republic, and a government committee in the Bahamas urged the royals to issue a full and formal apology for their crimes against humanity. And what did Will and Kate do? They decided to get a new forever home that just happened to have been owned by a slaveholder. Slavery is not the only story attached to Hollygrove. It was renamed Forest Lodge in the 1930s. Alice Liddell, the inspiration for Lewis Carroll's children's novel Alice in Wonderland, visited the house during the time it was occupied by her uncle, Colonel Augustus Liddell, groom in waiting to Queen Victoria and deputy ranger of Windsor Great Park. Following the retirement of Sir Malcolm Murray, the deputy ranger in 1936, the house was let as at the request of Edward VIII, to his longtime equerry, Sir John Aird, I think it is, a decorated soldier and baronet. Aird was once described by King Leopold of the Belgians as the perfect caricature of an English gentleman, but he was no stuffed shirt. In 1923, Aird was with the Prince of Wales in Kenya's Happy Valley when Edward and his brother, the Duke of Gloucester, shared the bedroom favors of the transatlantic Kenyan aviator Beryl Markham. Ugh, that sounds weird. Aird's also accompanied Edward on his official tour of South America in 1931, when far more energy was devoted to the goings-on behind bedroom doors than ribbon cuttings. There was a wild streak in him, something he could not control, Aird once observed. Sir John is also a man who could be said to have inadvertently triggered the 1936 abdication crisis. After all, it was he who organized the charter of the yacht Nalin, whose cruise through the Adriatic that summer drew the world's attention to the secret relationship between the king and Wallis Simpson. See there? More bad luck. The original plan had been for the royal party to take a chateau in the south of France, behind whose walls there would have been a measure of privacy, but Aird charted it, can be argued, because Aird charted it, it can be argued, argued that it altered the course of history. Though while Aird turned a blind eye to the royal bed-hopping activities, he remained a courtier rigidly in favor of the public decorum, and when he saw his king naked, except a pair of trunks, disporting himself publicly on Nyland's cruise, he threw in the towel. It was the last crusade, he said dismissively. The abdication followed shortly after. Unlike others close to Edward, who were tainted by the abdication, Aird remained in royal favor and continued to act as courtier to both King George VI and Queen Elizabeth II. In 1973, He was diagnosed with terminal bladder cancer. He told his wife to bring him a locked dispatch case. Within it was an old service revolver. In the bedroom of the Forest Lodge, Sir John Aird shot himself dead. He considered it to be the gentleman's way out. He was 75. So they are moving into a house where someone, you know, okay. I'm telling you, this house is bad luck. I can't wait for them to move in. As a result, Forest Lodge went to an old school courtier, the Scottish grandee, that is, the 14th Lord Napier. After service in the Scots Guard, Napier had joined the royal court, rising to be Princess Margaret's private secretary. Okay, Princess Margaret's private secretary. Where's Maggie? There she is. Yeah, Princess Margaret's private secretary in 1975. It was an unassuming Napier who was called in the adjudicate between the princess and her husband, Lord Snowdon, as they descended into drink, bad behavior, and angry recriminations. When things finally came to a head in 1975, it was Napier who was told to deliver the coup de grace, as Snowden's biographer and Corsi recalls. On the 26th of November 1975, Margaret sent Nigel Napier to inform Tony that in the future he was not to accompany her on any public engagements, nor was he to be informed of any private invitation activities. The drawbridge had finally been pulled up. Many other Forest Lodge tenants have come and gone, each with stories to tell, but none has been so famous as its new occupants, the future king and queen. Seasoned observers doubt William and Kate meant it literally when they described Forest Lodge as their forever home, but surely everyone that is, can agree after the ordeal that Kate and the rest of the family endured at Adelaide Cottage during her cancer treatment, it's time for a fresh start. Okay, so there you go. That is the bad luck, bad, what do you call it? Bad aura that surrounds that house. Let's see, the racist Wells deserve that house. The spirits are waiting on their arrival. Sounds like a house of horror. Let me see. To all that I have not said hello, I will replay later. As our closing, good night, all. Thank you very much for joining us, Beverly McCaskill. Let me see. William and Kate are cold and subtle races. How do they enjoy greeting young kids through the fence? They are the direct opposite of Harry and Meghan's warmth. Yeah, absolutely. They, as I said, they don't seem to think much. They don't seem to know much about the world. The thing is, if you leave things to your staff and you just show up, you get dressed, you show up, you're not prepared. You just figure a little smile and a little wave is going to be enough. Then, of course, things like their Caribbean tour happens. And of course, I did say Trenchtown, so that means that we do have to pay homage to the Trenchtown man. We do have to pay homage to Trenchtown man. Where is he?
Yes, Prince. Prince. Trenchtown wants $245 billion. That's what Trenchtown wants. $345 billion. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Trenchtown wants. Yes. What do you mean?
And also, I haven't done this one in a while. So let me do this one too, just to say I did. I think this is it. Ah, there you go. Leave it to Will and Kate. They picked a winner. You said, is that the Rose House from Stephen King's Haunted House? I see that. If it's not, it should be. If it's not, it really should be. I don't think I've ever seen that. Is that a, yes, a mini series? The Rose, okay. The Rose Red. I have to see that then, because I love Stephen King's work. I think Stephen King is awesome. And he's on the right side of history when it comes to politics. So, yeah, I am crazy about him. Now, let me go back to see what that is I missed. What did I miss? Oh, this. Okay. Right here it says, nothing Barron says makes sense. And thank you to the moderator who removed that from the comment section. Nothing Barron says makes sense. Okay, well, at least they know it. I have been perpetuating a fraud for years now. I somehow managed to get, 64,000 subscribers to Royal Sussex, because nothing I say makes sense, right? So I have been exposed. Anyway, I decided to conceal the identity of that person. And of course, they'll never be able to make a comment to Royal Sussex again. I made sure of that. And then look at the bottom. You think she should sound like an American actress? The Princess of Wales is a public school educated royal, and that is how she should sound. If you can't understand what she says, I suggest it's your problem. Our problem? Our problem? No, my dear, that is her problem. Hers and hers alone. As a matter of fact, not only is it her problem, but it's also a problem for the monarchy, because unfortunately, the English rose is unable to articulate any type of speech. So instead, they sit her down at a table with an empty binder and a bunch of people that have to keep saying, what did she say? But of course, they're too polite to say, what? What was that? Anyway, I feel like I'm being very unfair. And so, for that reason, I feel like we should reach out to Kensington Palace for comment.
Well, obviously, it'd be. I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously, on to this day, and going forward and things. It is. It's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
She sure does. She sure did. She do. So yes. So much for getting by with your looks. And this thing that I shared, we talked for the past couple of days about this thing with the St. George flag, and I saw this on Twitter. As you can see, the two shirtless guys, one has the bucket of paint, and the other one has the roller. And so he would run it through the paint and then pass it to him so that he can put those up on the wall. There's something going on, you guys. I mean, I hope this is just a bunch of idle-minded youth that are, but the thing is, not only here in the United States, but I think there's a lot of places, people that are on the extreme right wing, people that have some very nationalistic feelings, they want so desperately for there to be some type of race riot or civil war or something like that. There are people here in the United States that have committed those mass shootings because they want so desperately for there to be some type of civil war in this country. And I don't doubt that there are people in the UK that likewise feel as though they want there to be like a battle, for the soul of the country. The idea of having non-white people in the United States or Canada, Germany, and most of Europe, there are people who, if they could, they would make sure that there were no people of color, or as I like to say, none of the people that have been the victim of colonization or ancestors were victims of colonization, and worse. They don't want them in the country, and so that to me looks like a symbol of that. But I think it's gotten kind of out of hand with this painting the red crosses in public spaces like that. It's gotten way out of hand. Oh, you saw the video? Oh, you're talking about the one I just shared. Okay. Let me. Sussex Teen Warrior says, Baron, how could she have baby brain before she was married? That is a good question. How did she have baby brain before she was married? Okay, I'm gonna move on. But yeah, those are the two things that were kind of out of place here. Okay, and by the way, you guys, I hope that this wasn't too upsetting for anyone, but that is the history of the house. One of the previous owners of the house, uh, earned money through the slave trade. And for whatever reason, the Wellses did not consider that to be a deal breaker. They still want the house. And I'm pretty sure they have to know that that's exactly the history of the house and not just something that fell into the mix later on. They had to have known that. Surely somebody said something. Hey, Legs, thank you for joining us. That scene on the left side, that is from the miniseries, an American miniseries called Roots, written by Alex Haley, and it was adapted to a miniseries. And I remember back in the 70s watching that on television. Everybody in the United States seemed to stop and watch that. But knowing the current occupant of the White House, they will probably ban that movie from ever being shown again. The future king and queen. The future king and queen. I can't wait. It's going to be interesting. You know, I saw this side by side image, and you know what it made me think about? How many times have they said that Harry and Meghan made the Queen's life miserable? Well, as much as the Queen loved the Commonwealth, as much as she wanted the Commonwealth to be her legacy, part of her legacy, imagine how the Queen felt about Will and Kate going on an all expense paid vacation to the Caribbean and having the humiliating outcome that they had. I wonder how the Queen felt about that. I wonder if that prolonged her life, knowing that her life's work has been forever damaged by Will and Kate. Never mind Harry and Meghan. What about Will and Kate? What about the sick old man, Andrew? And what about her son, bringing his concubine to the throne? His mistress is now the queen consort. I'm pretty sure Queen Elizabeth was made of hardier stuff than what they pretend. If she could survive all of that, she can survive anything. But the tabloids will defend it and will bring up Kate's abolitionist ancestor. That's right, Harriet Tubman, or Harriet Tubman, the one that helped free Meghan's ancestor. Yes, that one. That one. You really have to bend the arc of history to make that possible. But yes, that relative. Let me see. Remember the plantation house in Louisiana that just happened to go up in flames? It was a famous wedding venue. I know who would want to get married at a plantation of all places. I don't know what people are thinking sometimes, you know? A plantation, and that's where you choose to get married. A choice. A choice. Lex says, imagine how she felt when King Charles III sold the horse Frogmore. Thank you so much, Legs. Okay. Let me see. I Am Sage says, as much as I love these attacks, sadly, it will be short-lived. Once William and Kate come out and shake some hands, all will be forgiven. Many have already said that William and Kate have learned they don't need the public to be on their side because the press is so far up their behinds. Oh, they got cut off, didn't it? But yeah, that's true. They really don't need the public to be on their side because the press will make excuses for them and all will be forgiven. Or either that or they'll find some kind of way to blame Harry and Meghan. Oh, I see what it says there. The press is up there behinds, and the public is brainwashed. The press would make a fortune if they started telling the truth about those two, but they never will. That's what we're missing from that comment. That's what I've been saying for a while, that is an opportunity to make a lot of money if they just tell the truth about those two. That would be a bonanza. They would draw so many people in with the truth about those two. That is a missed opportunity. I mean, look at how much the press made during that period when they were in the Caribbean and they were splattered all over the papers. They were just printing money. It was just like they were printing money. They should try it again. I'm telling you, try it again if you're listening, press. Now, royalists. The Waleses' move to an emotional support mansion is tone deaf. That is my new favorite phrase, the emotional support mansion. Tom Sykes was and still is the Daily Beast Royalist columnist and European editor, but he branched out with the Royalist Substack, where he started to move beyond the palace's talking points and his briefings from Prince William's most incandescent friends. Well, Sykes covered the Prince and Princess of Wales planned move to Forest Lodge, and he actually pointed out why the palace briefings about the move is so infuriating. At the time when millions across Britain are struggling to pay rent, heat their homes, or secure a doctor's appointment, the Prince and Princess of Wales has announced moving into a newly renovated £16 million mansion in Great Windsor Park, with sources saying they are doing so to safeguard their emotional well-being, hence the name Emotional Support Mansion. The property in question, Forest Lodge, is a secluded 8-bedroom Grade 2 listed estate with sweeping views across Berkshire and London. Renovations are already underway, funded privately by the couple through William's Duchy of Cornwall income of £1 billion. Portfolio of land assets that has been enriching royal heirs for centuries. Yes, they have had the Duchy of Cornwall for centuries, and they make a lot of money from it. Their move was briefed by Kensington Palace as a fresh start for the family to heal from the difficult few years, the loss of the Queen, King Charles' cancer diagnosis, and Princess Catherine's own health worries. So every family should do the same thing. Grandma dies, get a new house. Someone's diagnosed with cancer, get a new house. Someone's diagnosed with precancerous cells, get a new house. Everyone should be so lucky. Outside the royal bubble, many were left speechless by the gall of it all. Millions of Britons are also emerging from a brutal few years. Most of them don't respond to adversity by moving into a multi-million-pound mansion. By the way, these are the words of Tom Sykes, the one who writes for the Newsweek. Yeah, most of them do not respond to that by moving into a multi-million-pound mansion with period features and expensive private grounds. The Waleses would position this luxury upgrade as a form of restorative therapy, speaks volumes not just about how far removed from the public mood, but how tone deaf the palace has become in framing these decisions. It's not the move that is rankling, that is. It's the absurdity of presenting a 328-year-old 8-bedroom lodge as a necessary crutch for emotional survival. The family first moved to Windsor in 2022, settling into Adelaide Cottage to be closer to the late Queen and to allow the children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, to enjoy more of a private countryside upbringing. The current home has no live-in staff, nor apparently will the much larger Forest Lodge, which rather begs the question, if you didn't need staff and you have 4 bedrooms, why do you need 8? For a couple who seems keen on staying relatable, the spinning of the house move lands somewhere between baffling and plain stupid. Now, let me just add this, of course. No live-in staff, fine. But it has already been said that the other cottages on the property will accommodate staff. Just like with Adelaide Cottage, there are outbuildings behind Adelaide Cottage that are designed to accommodate staff. So whether it's 4 bedrooms or 8 bedrooms, the idea that they will not have live-in staff doesn't matter because the staff is only footsteps away. So if Kate tries to make pancakes and it gets fused to the ceiling when she tries to flip it, there is I'm sure a carpenter or handyman or some kind of person on the property who can saw the said pancake from the ceiling, and then a hazmat team will come in and remove it from the property lest it should cause illness or injury. So they're not exactly roughing it, okay? They're not moving into a log cabin in the wilderness. They will have staff just outside the door, 24 hours a day, I might add. Not live in, but live near staff. William has spent the past year casting himself as a reformer who wants to make the monarchy fit for purpose, but it's hard to imagine anything less modern or relatable than announcing during the worst cost of living crisis in decades that you're moving house to emotionally reset, and your new house happens to be a manor on crown land worth 16 million pounds. The late Queen might have approved of the move itself. Kings and queens do live in palaces, not cottages, after all, but would never have had the gall to pitch such a move as a therapeutic necessity. Her reign, for all of his stiff upper lip flaws, was defined by discipline and duty. William is emerging version of a kingship appears far more personal, driven by private needs and family comfort. And to hell with the PR optics. No one denies the last 18 months have been hard for the Welleses, but the idea that the solution to coping with grief, illness, and transition is a 16 million pound forever home with woodland views is grotesquely out of touch. You guys want a bigger house? Just own it. Now, that is from the Royalist Substack, and that is from Tom Sykes of Newsweek. You see how different things sound when they're actually doing their job. It comes across so much more sincere when they're doing their jobs. It doesn't take a lot of effort to say Will and Kate good, Harry and Meghan bad. That's lazy. But taking the time to point out the obvious about the Welleses, that's doing a service to yourself, to your publisher or newspaper or whatever, and it's doing a service to the country. Because after all, that is what journalists are supposed to do. They're supposed to report in the best interests of the country, not for a vendetta. So Kaiser from Celebrity says, let me see if friends close to Prince William arranged a briefing now, presenting the 328-year-old 8-bedroom lodge as a necessary crutch for emotional survival, and that the Welleses would position this luxury upgrade as a form of restorative therapy speaks volumes, not just about how far removed they are from the public mood, but how tone deaf the palace has become in framing these decisions. Well done. While I agree that the framing is asinine and hilariously out of touch, that isn't the only problem with this move. It's beyond clear that William is using this move to proclaim that he'll 100% live in Forest Lodge forever, so that by the time he becomes king, people are going to be begging him to live in the palace or castle. There's a hint of a long-term strategy at play here, and I doubt that William came up with it. But yes, it's amazingly privileged to argue that you and your wife need an emotional support mansion to compete with your brother's Montecito mansion. Again, that is from Celibici. And that was written by Kaiser. So there you go, you guys. An emotional support mansion. I think the mansion was acquired with Harry and Meghan in mind. I do believe that. I do believe that they wanted the mansion so that they could, I guess, fill the grounds of the mansion with lots of little garden projects for Kate, if they can get her out there, so that Kate can be photographed growing this, planting that. They're probably going to do something with the kitchen so that Kate can be seen as though she's a domestic goddess. I think the kitchen is going to be more like a showplace. It is going to be very rustic looking, so not to offend people, but I think the kitchen is going to be designed in a way that it is flattering to Kate. The kids are going to sit around on the high stools or whatever, and they're going to have lots of photographs of Kate acting very, very working class. That is my prediction. That is the whole point of it, is so that they can get those photos. I guess whatever's going on at Adelaide, it just wouldn't work. Admiral Hall, they're not interested in that. That's too removed from Windsor Castle. But I can guarantee you that pretty soon we're going to start seeing images of Kate that are designed to compete with Meghan. That is my prediction. And this house is going to be the perfect setting. Yeah, right. Yeah, they're not going to move into Frogmore. They're not going to move into Frogmore. They were trying to get um Andrew, the sick old man, they were trying to get him into Frogmore so that they could take the Royal Lodge. But since they couldn't get him to budge, they had to come up with another plan. But I agree with Kaiser. They're going to be begging them to move into Windsor Castle. I think that's the long-term strategy. It makes a lot of sense. Stay at Forest Lodge long enough to get some images of Kate looking very domestic. And then by the time that Charles makes his transition, then all of a sudden the public is going to demand that they move to the castle. Yeah, I think the fix is in. I'm going to agree with Kaiser about the push to get them into the castle. And it has seemed like they're going from some type of middle class existence and that they were forced to go to the splendor of the Windsor Castle. Oh, they don't really want to do it, but out of a sense of duty, they're going to have to. So they'll pretend like it's a great sacrifice. Yes, yes. That house is a ballroom, and Kate was seen buying a 24-seater table for the huge banquets. Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, this house is going to be a showplace. Yeah, they use it as cover. They use it as a cover. And remember Rebecca English months ago, Rebecca English um was making the case. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can find those. Rebecca English was making the case for Kate. Okay. She was building a case, should I say. Okay, Rebecca. Okay, give me a second here. Let me see. Why Kate's year has been tougher than anyone realized, and why she's starting to glow again. That was Rebecca English. Let me see here. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Not what I'm looking for, though. What I'm hearing about Kate's royal future after her sudden absence from Royal Ascot, and why it was a startling reminder of her grueling cancer battle. That was a article by Rebecca English. Now that's what she did to give cover to Kate because of her no-show. Let me see. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do that tomorrow because I got a bunch of them. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And I'm going to show you how Rebecca English was helping the Kensington Palace create this sympathy for Kate so that Kate could actually work just a few times in 2025, which is exactly what happened, and that people should be okay with it. I'll do that for tomorrow. Okay. William, Kate, Camilla, and Charles painted as perfect in Royal Butler's memoir. And you can see right there, Camilla Tominey says, the best line from this piece, Prince Philip apparently leaving Harry and Meghan's wedding with the words, I think that was an expletive. That's over. Yeah, thanks something that's over. I never did like this guy anyway. But he wrote a memoir and he has to include the Sussexes. They all do that. The guy that wrote the Vanity Fair, the one that looks like the Quaker Oats man, he had to write something about Meghan being confused at a photo shoot. They all do that. And of course, that guy that just wrote that book saying that Harry and Andrew got into a fight over Meghan, even though the timetable doesn't work, he just threw it in there anyway, knowing that if he mentions the Sussexes, then he has a better chance of getting booked on some of the talk shows and panels and stuff so that he can sell his book. They all do that. You guys, I made a video earlier today. Make sure you check it out. Tables have turned. I made a video earlier today, and it's about William and Kate, and it has to do with the way the press is not reaching, but being very critical of them right now. So I think the video goes live or public at 9 a.m. Right now, it's members only. So if you get a membership, you can watch it anytime. But if not, then you could just wait until it becomes publicly available in about, 10 hours, I think. But yeah, so it's up and ready. And of course, if you are a member, do know you can go over and watch it anytime because it is available to you right now. Oh, you know what? I got the wrong title for that video, don't I? I put the wrong title. Lord have mercy. Well, I'm going to fix that. Yeah, if you guys have watched it already, that is the wrong title. Oh, man. I'm glad I took a look at that. That is so barren of me. At least I think so. Oh, I don't know. No, maybe it is the right title. Oh, something happened. Oh, well. Okay, anyway, I'll fix it later. Oh, you saw it, Hazel Jones? Thank you very much. Yeah, well, just know that that's not what it's supposed to be, that title. I messed up. But yeah, I'll fix it later. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Anyway, it comes from this article. Prince William versus the press when the monster you fed turns on you. Again, it's in the video. We'll discuss it tomorrow when I go on live tomorrow. And of course, it happened because of these two articles, those back-to-back articles that were very critical of William. Those articles I love so much. And of course, this one. Critics warn. And you know what, guys? Guess what? I'm done. I am so done. Hour and a half, not bad. If you have any last comments, please go ahead and throw them in the chat. If you have any last comments, go ahead and throw those in the chat. Thank you so much. Good night or good morning. Hope you have a very productive day or a great night's sleep. I hope you don't have any nightmares about the lack of symmetry with the Forest Lodge. I hope they do something about that roof. That roof is grating on my nerves. That roof kind of looks like it could have been a McDonald's. You know how those old McDonald's restaurants kind of had that men's art roof that spread out away from the building, had that big eave underneath? That's what it reminds me of. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer. Thank you, Cookies and Cream. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It has been a real drag-a-thon for William this week. I'm enjoying it. Oh, really? Okay. Well, thank you, Connie Balmer. Once again, any more comments? You know, I love that the Gilded Age has a lot of people talking about the upper class, like nouveau riche Black people during the Gilded Age. I love these conversations. Lots of videos on YouTube. People talking about the whole Black Gilded Age. Julian Fellows didn't know anything about it. Julian Fellows was surprised to know that there were people going to Martha's Vineyard and, you know, Black people having all this money and wealth and education, these big houses and such. He was surprised to know that. And I think that is one of the reasons why he wanted to do the Gilded Age, was so that he could share that with the world. Anybody got any thoughts about that you like to share? Anybody? Legs? Hazel Jones? In the meantime, you know I'm going to change that title. As soon as I figure out what went wrong. And there's a bonus feature at the end of the video. Yes, countdown to season 2 with love, Meghan. Good night, Legs. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, please do watch it. Please. I tell you what, if you do watch it, we'll do a members only and we'll, we'll have you come up and talk about it. And some more people can come up and talk about it if you've seen it. My apologies to people who can't see it because they're, it's not available in your country, or perhaps you don't have the Max so you can watch it, but such a great series. You know what? I can't remember what the title was supposed to be. Oh, I think that was it. Is the British press turning on Prince William? I think that's what it's supposed to be. Yes, that's the title. Is the British press turning on Prince William? Okay, sorted. I got it taken care of. Now I got to go over to Twitter and fix that, and we're good. Somehow the wires got crossed, the tables have turned. Never knew I had such a lesson to learn. I'm feeling good from my head to my shoes. Know where I'm going and I know what to do. Ooh hoo, ooh hoo hoo. I got a new attitude. Do you guys see that little red circle at the bottom of the photo? See that? The little red circle? Do you guys know what that is? A little cryptic thing that I added in there just for fun, of course. Oh yeah, you can barely see it if you stretch it out. Anyway, I won't hold you in suspense. Do you remember when William went to that island and they had him plant a tree and he was holding that shovel? Well, that's what that picture is. I thought it would look kind of gruesome and scary, but you can barely see it. Yeah, there's a whole generation of people that have no clue about the Black wealth in this country, especially the landowners. Yeah, there's a lot of Black landowners even today. They said that the Black community in the United States is the wealthiest community of Black people anywhere. I think it's, what is it, $1.8 trillion? $1.8 trillion of wealth in the Black community as we speak. And that is why when there is a boycott, it has a very heavy impact. When Black America boycotts, rather, it has a huge impact, not only on the economy, but on whoever is being boycotted. An educated elite whose history has been erased and or suppressed. It is easier to manipulate the disenfranchised people if they don't know their worth or history. And you get a bell for that. Yep, ask Target. Ask Target. You know, Marshar, that may very well be the case. Maybe William, because I used to have this feeling about William when I was younger. Well, when he was younger, I looked at him and I was just like, you know, I look at him and I see his mother. At least there was a time you could see his mother. Now you see a monster. And I was just like, if anybody can tear down the House of Windsor, William could. William could very well be a weapon against the monarchy. I just had that feeling. What's that? Julian Fellows said his mother was never fully accepted by the aristocracy, even after her kids were grown. Now, I don't know the story of his family. Where can I find that? If I go to Wikipedia, would that help? Julian Fellows? Oh, I didn't know he was an actor. He's 76 years old. He was born in Cairo. Yeah, he was born in Cairo. Interesting. Oh, and you guys, Gosford Park. If you're not able to watch The Gilded Age, do watch Gosford Park. It is available in a lot of places. Gosford Park. When Julian Fellows wrote Gosford Park, people were so taken by it that they told him that you have to make a series. You have to do a series. And so that's how Downton Abbey came about. And by the way, Maggie Smith is in Gosford Park. Great movie. Let me see. Gosford Park. I'm going to see where it's available to watch. Good night, everyone. I'm done. I don't want to keep you here any longer than you have to. So I'm just like fooling around right now. But if you guys are staying, I'm going to be on for a few minutes. I'm trying to see where it's available. Okay, let me do this. Oh, I found it. So you could watch it on YouTube for $3.79. At least in the US, that's how much it costs. It's also available on Amazon Prime. Looks like you have to pay for it. I don't see any place where it's free. It's on Apple TV, Google Play, Fandango. But check for yourself. You may be able to find it yourself. I've probably seen it 3 times. Oh, yeah. Wasn't it great? Oh, thank you, Ingrid Soares. Please hit that thumbs up. Good night, Heather Stroud. Thank you so much for joining us. Maggie Smith, Helen Mirren, Bob Balaban, Christine Scott Thomas, Michael Gambon, Kelly McDonald. You know what? I might just watch it myself. Wasn't Clive Owen in it? Oh, yeah. Clive Owen was in it as well. Derek Jacobi. I didn't know he was in there. Ryan Phillips. Why do I feel like I could watch it for free on YouTube? Why do I get that feeling? I'm going to try just to see. Okay, and you can't. Well, I tell you what, on American Masters, no, I'm sorry, American Experience, they have The Gilded Age, a documentary. I've seen that one before, and that's also great. So if you can, oh boy, I'm getting a warning that if I don't use some passes I have, I'm going to lose them. Okay. Thought I used one already. I guess I didn't. So I guess I'm going to have to book a flight. I'm going to have to book a flight just so that I can use that, what do you call it? That lounge pass I have. I can't afford to go anywhere. What am I saying? I wonder if I could book a flight, go to the lounge, and then get a refund. Yeah, I'm going to watch that again. I'm going to watch the Gilded Age documentary. I'm going to put the link up for you guys, so in case you want to watch it. The Gilded Age documentary. There's the link right there. And it's free to watch on YouTube. It's a PBS thing. So Do make sure you watch it. You can learn about the Gilded Age without seeing the movie or the miniseries. Oh, okay. There it is at the top of the chat. The Buccaneers, yes, I did. That was a Warden, based on a Warden book, right? I did watch that, and that was very good too. The Buccaneers. It's also like a Gilded Age thing. Thank you for reminding us. That is a good thing to watch. The Buccaneers, you guys, make sure you watch it. It's a great alternative if you can't watch the Gilded Age. Watch the Buccaneers. Was that a remake? Because I saw the original. Oh my goodness, I see they have a 2023 version. I saw the one from some years ago. I didn't know that there was a new one. Now I'm going to have to watch it. Oh, I'm watching it. Now I'm going to have to watch it all over again. Oh, this is a series. Okay, what I watched was a mini series. Or do I have that title wrong? I watched one that was made like back in the 80s. At least I thought I did. Now I'm confused. Yes, 1995 version. That's what I watched. Okay, so it wasn't the 80s, it was the 90s. And I think I watched it on YouTube. No, I don't think I watched it on YouTube. I watched it on one of the streaming services. Let me see if it's on Netflix. Okay, it's not on Netflix. Yeah, it's not on Netflix. Let me see if it's on. God, I think I have half of what's available. Don't watch any of them. Let me see if it's on Max. Maybe I saw it on Max. Okay, I do not see that. I've never seen Pride and Prejudice either. I don't think I've ever seen that one. What is The Prince? I keep seeing that. The Prince. Is that any good? Oh, so watch the one with Colin Firth, huh? Okay. Cransford was good. I watched Cransford. Yes, Mira Savino. Yes, I remember she was in it. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to check that out. Next week, 28th anniversary of. Oh, Princess of Steel. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. The was it the 1st of September, right? Yeah, I guess we'll have to do something. Oh, it's been 2 hours. Okay, I've been on for 2 hours. I think we're gonna say good night. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. Let's do the comparison. That or that. This or that. Now that would have been a stunning house instead of this mess. Ugh. That is awful. Too hot to handle. What is that about? You know, the Downton Abbey previews was a bit misleading. They had me thinking that they were going to, that they were going to sell the house or something like that. But I think they just wanted Lord Grantham and Cora. They wanted them out of the house, and they're going to do something with the house, like a hotel or something like that, I think. But either way, I want to watch it in the theater. I know it'll probably be available before Christmas, but I want to watch it in the theater. And of course, one of my favorite all-time miniseries, Brideshead Revisited. Oh, that was awesome. That was so good. Now, I have to warn you guys, it is kind of a slow-going thing, but a very dear friend of mine used to be a historian for the government. He was a government paid historian. Okay. He told me that if you watch the series, then you've read the book because the series was page for page the book. So instead of listening to a book on tape or something like that, if you watch Brideshead Revisited, I'm speaking of the original version, not that one movie thing, but the original version. It's just like you read the book. I think it's what, 6, 8 episodes or something like that. Jeremy Iron, excellent. Well, you know what? I thought that Downton Abbey borrowed from Dynasty. I could kind of see Dynasty. I felt as though Dynasty had a bit of an influence on Julian Fellows. Seriously. I know that sounds really odd, but I've watched every episode of Dynasty, and it had a very Dynasty vibe to it. I think Julian Fellows may have borrowed a bit, taken license with other stories, but it was still a great series. I get a kick out of the technology, like when Mrs. Hughes purchased a toaster, and what a big deal it was that she had a toaster. The first time they used the telephone, the phonograph, all of those things, I got a kick out of it. I really did. So, along with the storyline, I am also paying very close attention to the details, like the everything in the room. I study it. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for 47 months membership. Now, you guys, the oldest memberships are 48 months. That would be Lydia Washington and a few other people. And then after that are the 47 month memberships, of course. So if your membership is in the 40s, you have been a member for a very long time. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker, as well as being a member, as well as, the being a moderator. Also, Elaine Parker, I don't know if you know this, but I posted a video earlier. It's for members only, so you can watch that whenever you like. Okay, let me see. What else is good? By the way, if you're in the Chicagoland area, at the I forget the name of the theater, but Elizabeth McGovern, who plays Cora Crowley, Lady Grantham, she's actually in a play in Chicago right now. I repeat, if you are a fan of Elizabeth McGovern, she's in a play in Chicago. I think she's only going to be in Chicago for like a week, but she's in a play. She's playing some actress, I can't remember. Everything Sir Peg-a-Lot and his sidekick, Miss Pretzel Stick McMumble, still backfires. They'll always be a failure until they make amends for all the hurt and pain they've caused, the Sussexes. I agree with that. I do agree with that. They have had quite a run of misfortune, and I do believe it's because of the stuff that they've done. I do believe that. But they have called this upon themselves. I'll be right back, you guys. I will be right back. Piers Morgan knew of phone hacking when at the Mirror. High Court hears Piers Morgan knew about illegal phone hacking when he was editor of the Daily Mirror, it has been alleged at the High Court. The first day of the phone hacking trial initiated by Prince Harry and other well-known figures heard claims that illegal activity, including voicemail interception, was carried out on an industrial scale by staff at Mirror newspapers. David Sherborne, the barrister acting for Harry and the other alleged victims, told the court that Morgan must have known about illegal behavior at the newspaper he edited between 1995 and 2004. According to legal filings, in one alleged incident, Morgan asked a journalist to name the source of a celebrity story and was told the information had come from voicemails. In another, a witness described how Morgan was laughing mockingly as he entertained the Daily Mirror newsroom by repeatedly playing staff a private voicemail left by Paul McCartney for his then-girlfriend, Heather Mills. In another, a witness claimed Morgan knew the default PIN codes that could be used to illegally access voicemails on different mobile phone networks. Morgan, now a presenter on Rupert Murdoch's Talk TV, has always denied knowingly commissioning or publishing stories based on illegally obtained voicemails. Okay, that's not the one that I thought it was. Oh well, I'm back. I was trying to leave you with the one where Piers Morgan said that Harry would be a better king. So yeah, that was the wrong video that I was sharing, but that's okay. I was about to go, but since Elaine Parker is here, I'm going to hang out for a little while longer. Hey, Elaine Parker. You guys, I went and got myself a little sip of As Ever Rosé. Just a little bit. So good. I was having a bit of a stomach upset. I thought it might settle my stomach. I went and got it for medicinal purposes. Anastasia, thank you for stopping by. You know what? I was just about to go, and then Elaine Parker just arrived, and now you're here. So it's like a family reunion. This is really turning into a family reunion. All we need is Church Nellie and Dorothy Ross, right? And it will be a complete family reunion. Oh, you're preparing barbecue. All right. Oh, because I'm out of ginger ale. Because I am out of ginger ale, I thought I might use a bit of stone fruit that just happens to be enveloped in what is that? 14.5% alcohol. You know, now that I think of it, I have some pickled ginger. I wonder how that'll taste with the as ever. Yeah, what am I doing? I got some pickled ginger. Oh, I feel better already. Oh, Megan's mint tea. I couldn't get any of it. I tried. Let's see. Hi, Baron. Hello, squatties. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I caught you. I'm moving out of the country. I hope I'll be able to find you. Well, thank you so much for the super chat. Um, wow. I mean, okay, I don't want to ask you any questions per privacy, so I don't want to know where you're going or anything like that. But is this for like okay, can I ask you, is this for like work? Is this for ethical reasons? Yeah, but please don't tell us anything that will violate your privacy. But that's exciting, moving out the country. I think I need some cheese to go with this as ever. Okay. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. I'm retiring elsewhere. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. Well, I wish you the best. I mean, I'm excited for you. I hope you're excited. I'm excited for you. Yeah, for those of you that just joined us, just a reminder, we were pretty much done, and I was going to wrap up, but since some family just came in, I'm going to hang out for a little bit, if y'all don't mind. And yeah, and again, thank you for the super chat. Just to recap, you guys, the house that the Wellses are moving into has links to the transatlantic slave trade. Ugh, yuck. They have links to the transatlantic slave trade. But that didn't stop Will and Kate. Oh, Frank Lloyd Wright. Okay. Well, I do have one of those tabletop books of Frank Lloyd Wright's. Um, let me see. Anything interesting I can think of? Let me see. Well, Frank Lloyd Wright is probably the most important architect in these United States, in the history of the United States. And he would be the first one to tell you that because he was one of the most pompous, arrogant, self indulging people that you could ever want to meet. And if you're anywhere near the University of Chicago, there is a Frank Lloyd Wright property there called the Roby House, the Frederick C. Roby House, a house that is built like a battleship, literally built like a battleship. I kind of wish I had some pics to go with it. Let me see what I can do. I mean, I like a challenge, but let me see what I can do. And I did take a tour of the Frank Lloyd Wright house and studio in Oak Park years ago. But Frank Lloyd Wright was very famous for his prairie style architecture. And the prairie style, if you've ever seen a ranch style home, which of course all of us have, well, the ranch style home is based on the prairie style that was made famous by Frank Lloyd Wright. Let me see if I can find something here. Frank Lloyd Wright prairie style. Oh, there's the Frederick C. Roby House right there. Okay, let me pull up a couple of things here, see what I can do. See if I can rise to the challenge. You know, I have not taken one of these Chicago River tours since the 1980s. And that is something I desperately need to do. It is like one of the favorite things anywhere in the United States when it comes to visiting or traveling, should I say, and doing tours. That is like one of the favorites is the Chicago River tour. Okay, so I don't have a picture of the Roby House, but that's okay. I'm going to grab one and I'm going to talk you through this. So give me just a second here. Grab a couple of pics. And then we're off to the races. Oh, yeah, this is a perfect example right here. All right, give me just a second to grab some images and we'll make it do what it do. Like this. Thank you for the suggestion, Legs. This is going to be fun. I want to see if I can get a good picture of the front door. Oh, yes, I found it. The front door. Okay, I got enough to start with here. Wow, I've never seen this view before. Let me grab that one too. Oh, okay. Night. Okay. All right, let's get started then. Get rid of these because I don't need that. Won't need that. Definitely don't want that. Or that. I'll leave that. Okay. Okay, this is the Frederick C. Roby House. All right, that is a Frank Lloyd Wright. And one of the things that really jumps out is oh, what is that there? An ocean view. I'm leaving Tuesday. I'll be running my business from there. So expect a package soon. Thank you so much. I love surprises. Look at me smiling with all 3 or 4 of my teeth showing. All right. Well, thank you very much. All right. So that is the Frederick C. Roby House. Now, I want you to notice the bricks. You see those bricks? I can't really zoom in any closer at this point, but I'll show you someplace else. Those bricks are actually made very thin. They're very long and thin bricks. Everything about the prairie style is expanding horizontally. At the time when this house was built, it was the Victorian age. Everything was very vertical, lots of vertical lines. Frank Lloyd Wright rejected that. So he wanted the house to hug the earth. He wanted to expand the space. Frederick C. Roby's family had a request, and that was to build a house on a corner lot that would bring in lots of light, but at the same time, give you a lot of privacy. Now, one of the crazy things about this house, which is why I say that it's made like a battleship, look at how far that eave extends over the porch. It's a porch. It looks like a terrace, but basically it's a porch. The way that it extends is made possible because Frank Lloyd Wright was experimenting with the steel I-beam, just like you would find in a high-rise building, in a steel frame building. And that would carry the weight in a way that stone or concrete or it would not be possible but for the steel I-beam. Now, he used that same tactic or technique, should I say, in the house called Falling Water. That's that house that's built over that waterfall. The house is actually kind of, bending some of those parts of the house that is held up with the I-beam because of the weight. I don't know if that's been a problem with this one, but I know for falling water, that was an issue because, it is steel and it is very rigid. But at the same time, when you got so much of a load pushing down on it, it is going to give a bit. But in this instance, it gives you this amazing coverage from the sun. So even on the hottest days of summer, you're getting all that light with no need to use any curtains or blinds or anything. And the way that it's set back away from the street, you also have a lot of privacy because of the use of stained glass. The art glass, Frank Lloyd Wright was very famous for that. Also, you have the very high walls, so nobody's going to just peek inside. He loved to put the windows just beneath the roof line, so that way you get the light, you have some privacy, and it just make the room feel that much bigger. Okay, let me get another picture here. And another thing about the bricks, well, I'll show you that when I get another picture up here. But it's very interesting what he did. Let's go with this one. So if you were standing on that porch, you could see how massive that overhang is. You get a good view of the art glass, right? The other thing is, take a look at those bricks. If you notice, the mortar or the way that they have put the cement in between the bricks, notice that you could easily see the horizontal line, but the vertical line, they actually used a dye to make the cement darker on the sides of the brick, and they left it, the plain white tone going left and right, but up and down it's darker. So it looks just like a red band of bricks. See what I mean? That's why it looks so, neat like that. You could barely see the seams in between the bricks from side to side, only top and bottom. And again, that was to stress the expansion of the house. The house is made to hug the earth. Here is a lesson in the horizontal, not the vertical, like most Victorian style homes. I mean, it's hard to believe a house like this exists at a time. Like what year was this? I think it was 1909. Well, you know what? If it's 1909, then that's after Queen Victoria. So I got that wrong. Let me see here. What year was it built? Yes, 1909. I remember 1909. So Queen Victoria died 8 years before this house was built. 8 years before this house was built. The house is 3 stories, 4 bedrooms. It has an attached 3-car garage. The house open floor plan consists of 2 large offset rectangles or vessels. The facade and perimeter wall are made largely of Roman bricks. So yeah, that's the kind of bricks that the Romans use, those very long, thin bricks. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the Wikipedia now. Concrete trim, cut stone decorations, and art glass windows. Oh wow, the house spans around 9,065 square feet. 9,065 square feet. It doesn't even look like it. It doesn't seem like a very large house, but I mean, relative to all the other houses, I think it's pretty massive. Okay, let me grab another pic. Oh, this one right here. I want you to see the house from the side here. See that? It is 3 floors. So there is a floor that's more at eye level, and then there's the middle floor, and then there's the top floor. Isn't that beautiful? See how like elongated everything appears? 1909. 1909. Okay, I have a picture from the inside. Let me see here. Let me see. Oh, I want to show you this one first. Now, technically, this is the front of the house, but I would feel very sorry for the Amazon guy trying to deliver a package, because where do you go? You've seen the front, right? You've seen the side. Now, there's a gate right there, but there's no obvious front door that you can see from the street. And that gate does not lead to the front door. I believe that connects to the back garden, and I'm sure there is a door there, but the front door is not here. It's here. You see that path right there? When you go down the path, you walk beneath the, I guess that's like a balcony or a terrace, and then you go right. So you go right, and there's a little door there, right? It's very wide, kind of a short door. And as you get closer, everything seems like it is crushing down on you, right? And that's what Frank Lloyd Wright called compression architecture, because once you go through the door, then the whole room opens up. So it's kind of dark and claustrophobic when you walk up to the house. But the reward is when you get inside, you're so relieved to get out of the shadows, and you're bathed in all of these warm earth tones. So let me grab a picture of the inside of the house. It's not a great picture of the inside. I'll try to find another. But that is another thing that Frank Lloyd Wright was famous for, are those very long, high chairs. And the idea was, when you have those chairs seated at a table, it makes the dinner feel that much cozier because the chairs are well above your head. So it's like you're in a tight little room inside of a much bigger room. So whenever you see those chairs that have that really high back to it, that is definitely Frank Lloyd Wright. The built Victorian homes. Oh, they built Victorian homes until 1910. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's see. And then the early 1900s, like let's say the late 1800s, early 1900s, that's when arts and craft came in, right? So if you had to say what style house this was, it would definitely fall under arts and craft. And then after arts and craft was the Art Nouveau. And that's where everything is very like organic in appearance, like flowers and vines and stuff like that. And then Art Deco, which is like so opposite to Art Nouveau. So those were the 3 styles that came in after the turn of the century, was the arts and craft, Art Nouveau, and Art Deco. And then after Art Deco, which was the like what, the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s. Then came the mid-century. But of course, at that time, they didn't call it mid-century, just modern, but mid-century modern. So that's the order, I believe. If memory serves me, that's the order that all those styles came in. So this would definitely be the arts and crafts style, which did start in the Victorian age. Thank you, ladies. Okay. Oh, I promised that I would find an indoor photo. So let me do that. I want to try to find a nice one. Give me just a second. Find something nice. Oh, I did have one, didn't I? Let me see. Or did I not use that one? Let me see. Nope, I didn't grab it. So let me grab one. I'll take this one. Okay. No, not that. The Roby House, Frederick C. Roby. Even though it looks like it says Robbie, but it's Roby. Oh, this one is nice. Okay. I like this one. Okay, interior coming up. Now, there's no furniture in the house, you guys. Very little furniture. Most of the furniture is loaned out to museums. And of course, over the years, a lot of the furniture was lost and it had to be replicated or purchased again from people who purchased it when they, because this house was almost demolished. Believe it or not, this house was nearly demolished. You know what? There are not great interior photos as I'm seeing here. They're not great. It just seems to be just a few concentrated photos, but let's see what's there and then we'll discuss it. Okay, I'm gonna try that one more time. Okay, so there's one image. I would say this is the great room. The not a family room, but a very formal living room. You can see the art glass on either side, and there is the fireplace. Frank Lloyd Wright felt as though the fireplace was like the heart of the home. And every house he ever designed, the fireplace was always very much a very cozy area, like this one here. I think there's a fireplace on either side of that wall there. I think this is one side, and then there's one on the other side. See there? And I think they both use the same chimney. And notice that the fireplace splits there, so you got light going over the fireplace. Isn't that clever? So the fire vents on either side. I don't think I trust that. I don't think I trust that. Charles Rene McIntosh. I never heard of him before. But Frank Lloyd Wright, not only did he design the house, he also designed furniture. And if you ever invited Frank Lloyd Wright to a party, you will spend most of the evening putting all of that furniture back where he said it was supposed to go. All right, here's another view. I believe this is the street level, and this is above the street level. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that's the street level right there. So I think they rent the space out for occasions, but there is no furniture in the house, but there are tours available. Yeah, right? Yeah. And that's because, I mean, in the 70s, they were still making brand new ranch style homes. I think the ranch style kind of started maybe in the 50s, was it? The 40s, the 50s? But I agree. He was quite the visionary. Let me see if I have an. Oh, I do have another photo. I'll show you the garage. The garage. That's the garage. That's where they have the gift shop. You can tell from the stuff in the window there. But there is a Frank Lloyd Wright gift shop at the Roby house. 3-car garage. Okay, let me see what else I got here. Oh, here's a nice image. That one didn't open up, did it? Let me try that again. Okay. Also, you guys, I'm going to tell you something about Chicago that you probably have never heard before, especially if you've never been here. But Chicago is one of the cleanest cities in the United States. Oh, you know what? I got too many images. I got to take one away. I will take this one away. That's why it's not letting me open it. All right, there you go. Nice up close view. That is very typical. That planter, that is very much a Frank Lloyd Wright style planter. Okay, what I was going to say about Chicago is this. And yes, I do have a lot of civic pride. Notice that this house in the inner city on a corner and nice blank clean walls. There's not much of a culture of graffiti in Chicago. It's not that you won't find it, but you rarely see it, especially in some of the poorest neighborhoods where you would think that graffiti is everywhere. There's not a big culture of graffiti in Chicago. You'll see it along like the highway and stuff like that, the expressway. Um, but you'll be amazed. You look at a big blank wall, even in some very obscure places, and you won't find any graffiti, which is amazing, I would say, and a blessing. But yeah, there's not much of a graffiti culture in the city of Chicago. And one of the reasons why you don't find much of it is because years ago, the city banned the sale of spray paint. You can buy it in the suburbs, but if you go to a hardware store in Chicago, good luck finding spray paint. If you do, it should not be there. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons. But yeah, there's just not much of a culture for the spray painting of buildings, graffiti. You'll find more like public murals, like sanctioned artwork. You'll find more of that than you find graffiti. Well, we got lucky with that. We got lucky. But yeah, if you've ever been to Chicago, one of the things you'll notice is that the city is very clean. And the downtown is like an architectural history museum. You'll find all type of architecture in downtown Chicago. And a lot of the high-rise buildings, they're turning 100 years old, which just blows my mind. Like the Wrigley Building, 100 years old? How's that possible? But it is. Let me see if I can find one for you. Ah, there it is. There's the Wrigley Building. Oh, I got to get rid of some of these pictures. That's why I can't bring anything else up. Okay, I'm taking some photos away. Okay, say goodnight to the Roby House. Good night, Roby House. Another incentive to go to the Roby House is right there at the University of Chicago campus, which is absolutely beautiful. You will love the University of Chicago campus. One of the best universities in the country. Okay. Let me see what I want to show you. I want to find something very interesting. Oh, I love this photo. I love this photo. Yeah, I love this photo. Let me see. When was that photo taken? I can barely see it. Let me see. I want to find it. But yeah, I love that photo right there. There's this one, and there's another one that I'm really crazy about. I cannot believe there's over 500 people still here. I appreciate it though. Okay, that's not working. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what I want to share with you. No, not that. Oh, here's a photo I took. I took this when I went to a doctor's office downtown. I think this is such a cool photo. I was looking out the window. Let me see. Yeah, it's not an old photo, but I was looking out the window and I made it black and white, by the way, but it's not an old photo. But yeah, I was in a doctor's office downtown one day and I did that with my iPhone. I'm always taking pictures. Okay. Ooh, okay. I'll share this one with you. I love this house. Mm. Okay, it's called Dew's Mansion. I think it's spelled Dewes, and that is in Lincoln Park, I think, or Lakeview, Lincoln Park. Anyway, this very French chateau style house was presented to the daughter of somebody rich as a wedding present. Anyway, the house is used as a wedding venue, but I'm going to see if I can find a better picture of it. Let me try this one. There it is. That is the front entrance. You could tell it was fall when I took that photo, but it's like somebody took a slice of a mansion. I don't think it's a very big house. It's not that big, but it is very, very beautiful. I'm going to see if I can zoom in on that front door so you can see those statues. In that movie Hoodlum with Cicely Tyson and Lawrence Fishburne, they filmed it in Chicago. And this house was used as Cicely Tyson's house. Okay, again, I'm going to try to zoom in. It's not the greatest photo, but believe it or not, it is in Chicago. Okay, Lincoln Park. Yes, in Lincoln Park. Oh, let me show you this. Let me show you this. Take a look at that. The house is below the sidewalk. You see that? It still stands at 1478 West Webster Avenue, Lincoln Park. And this was taken back in 1988. I didn't take this photo, at least I don't think so. But look, they raised the street level. A lot of the older neighborhoods, they raised the street level. The street level years ago was about maybe 6 to 8, sometimes 4, 6, 8 feet lower than what it was, than what it is now. So when they wanted to create sewers, instead of um, digging a trench and letting all that water, like, because Chicago has a very high water table. So if you dig a little bit, suddenly there's going to be a pool of water. And so to avoid that, they just laid pipes and covered the street. I repeat, they laid pipes and they covered the street. That was the easiest way to make sewers in Chicago. So some of the houses were left below the city street level. So when you want to go inside the house, you have to walk down the steps. You can see the gate right there. It says beware of dogs on the right side. You have to walk down to go inside. Now, some people who could afford it would actually elevate the house, which is not very difficult. They would elevate the house and then build a new foundation. And some people just left it the way it was. So yeah, your front yard is below the street level, which I think is great if you have kids and you want to like let them out the house and you don't want them to stray too far. But this kind of house is like a worker's cottage. That's like a worker's cottage. And they built houses like this after the Great Chicago Fire, well, before and after. And those types of windows, you see those in all of the houses that were built during that era. Yeah, I did. I did share that one before. uh, okay, so let me try this one more time. Let me go back to Lincoln Park. Yeah, there's some great houses in Lincoln Park. Really, really nice houses. And the Lincoln Park Zoo is free. The zoo is free. Ooh, I know what I want to show. Well, I showed you this before. That is Ritchie Court, right? I'm going to see if I can find the modern image to compare with this older one. Now, doesn't that street look just like Gilded Age? That looks just like the street on Gilded Age. And oh, the address is 1330 Ritchie Court. That's where they took the picture. They were standing at 1330 Ritchie Court. So that's the 1300 block. Let me find it. course, I could go to MapQuest and just screenshot it, which I think is what I'll do. That'll be the easiest thing to do. I'm going to take it to the street. Taking it to the street. Oh, there we go. Now, sadly, some of the houses were demolished to create high-rise buildings. So one side of the street, all the houses are gone. Okay? Sorry, but that's the way it is. On one side of the street, all the houses are gone. I know, yuck, right? And there's this ugly high-rise building where these beautiful homes, these Gilded Age homes, were once located. But I'll show you anyway. Try not to vomit. It's not so bad. Yes, it is. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's awful. Okay, are you ready for the big reveal? Okay, here goes. See what I mean? They put that big, ugly high-rise building. It also looked like there's one down the street. So there's like, what, maybe 6, 7, 8 of those homes left. Isn't that awful? Who would do such a thing? Look at that. Look, why? Now, I think this photo was taken like around 1905 or something like that. As you can see, there's a horse and carriage on one side of the street. There's an automobile on the other side of the street. But look at those beautiful homes. They are gone. They're all gone, replaced by this awful, wretched building. Yeah, there's another high rise down the block. So let me see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 6 of the original houses left. Only 6. You know, that would be great. There's a lot of stories to be told. Potter Palmer, George Pullman, Marshall Fields, Gordon Selfridge, Selfridge Department Store. He started his retail business in Chicago. Yeah, they really do need that. No, I don't think I've ever been to Louisville. Oh, this is heartbreaking, you guys. Look at that. There's only 6 of the original houses left. All the others are gone. There's an apartment building down the street. And then on the right side, all of those homes are gone. All of them. Heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. Okay, so the Dews mansion that I showed you earlier, that French style, chateau style house, I found a better picture than the one I took. I want to show it to you. So give me just a second here. So beautiful. Now I'm getting depressed when I'm thinking about that street, the way it's been mangled, decimated, destroyed, all for some profit, a little profit. So they could build those ghastly apartment buildings. Our architectural history ruined. Okay, there you go. That's better, right? Yeah, beautiful. Okay, you guys, it's down to 500 people. I'm going to say good night. Love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I would guess that these homes were built like between like the 1880s, 1890s. Very typical architecture for that period. Definitely during the Gilded Age. Well, and you know what? Even though we lost a lot of beautiful architecture, it just makes us appreciate what's remaining, right? It makes us appreciate those 6 remaining homes, all 6 of them. Okay, cheers. I'll see you guys. Oh, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I think I'm going to do a different kind of ending. I think I know exactly what to do. I made it earlier today. So, how do I do that? Nope. Yeah, like that. I want to thank you for giving me the best days of my life. They could rewrite this song. I want to spank you. uh, who's singing that song, right? Who's singing that song? Oh, Lord. It says, let me see. You got a lot of files. Each brand is limited to 100 images. Please delete some of the files. Oh, man, I got to get rid of something to add something. Um, hmm. Well, it can't be Ginger Avenger. I don't know what's got to go. Man, I got to get rid of one to add one. Well, mm, okay. What if I get rid of Afro Annie? Now can I use it? For those of you that just joined us, we are about to say good night and God bless. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to use my new outro. Oh, Shelly L. Google Maps, North Astor Street. Yes, there is a Astor Street in Chicago. Well, maybe I'll share that next time. Thank you so much for the super chat. I've been to North Astor Street. Oh, okay. I know what I need to do. So I'm going to change the outro. This is going to be very short, only 12 seconds. Okay. All right. So this is my first time using it, but you have seen it before. So here goes. Play outro in stream.